At that moment, I knew my life had changed forever.
Hello, how you doing? Yes. Can we all just stand up really quick because you've been sitting for a minute? Can we all stand up, move our legs around? I am Tina, otherwise...
Meet Tina, StarzTina Wilson, a beacon of hope and transformation for women over 40. As a licensed life and health coach, Tina specializes in empowering those who have faced life's toughest challenges.
Here's the edge of their seat. So when someone says, Tina, how did you do? I'm going to say, I had them at the edge of their seat.
Drawing from her personal triumphs over tragedy, Tina guides women on a transformative journey. Her unique approach is grounded in the 5 pillars of transformation: mindset, heart set, nutrition, fitness, and resilience. Tina's mind, body, and soul awakening program isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. Through her online fitness boutique studio, she merges physical well-being with emotional growth. As an international motivational speaker, Tina's voice resonates across continents. She inspires and educates through her podcast, her dynamic presence on platforms like Clubhouse and Toastmasters International, and her compelling storytelling. Celebrating her latest achievement, the publication of her first book, No More Traumedy, Tina continues to leave a lasting mark in the art of transformation.
I said I need to make a book for anyone who's had some type of trauma or tragedy, because there's no playlist. People don't like to talk about it. Remember, I was with my coach and I'm like, well, this person's got a cool thing. They do motivation. They do finances. I talk about traumedy. That's not cute. He's like, Tina, you make traumedies look good.
Yeah.
StarzTina Wilson, transforming lives by overcoming one traumedy at a time.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you so much for that, Kim. Alrighty, I am live. Renee is going to put the link at the top if you want to see me here on YouTube. Welcome YouTube, welcome Facebook, LinkedIn. And if you didn't know, it is Friday. It is Fun Friday, Freaky Friday. I like to say all those things. And on Fridays, I am so lucky. I am so grateful that I get to be with the champions. Breakfast with Champions here on Clubhouse. And I just want to say good morning to Kim. I see Hal. I see Dora, Maria. I see Trisha. Good morning. Chima, how you doing? How you doing? I'm scrolling all the way down. I see Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Guys, Tracy had an amazing event this week. She had Stephen Kuhn there, so much great advice. Dr. Tangi was there. Virtual events are amazing. Tracy, love your event. The Box, George. So if you didn't know, Breakfast with Champions, we've been here since COVID, and it's a beautiful community. I absolutely love it. Now, when you come into this space, we're going to bring you motivation, education, and inspiration. I am StarzTina, and if you've never heard my voice before, good morning. And today's going to be a little different kind of session. We just got finished with Kim, who talks about business. I love. I'm that person who really gets into that mindset. I'm that person that's going to talk about the uncomfortable conversations. Glenn was talking about that early this morning. Good morning, Carla. Welcome to the space. I'm that person that's going to talk about traumedies. Traumedies when the energies of a trauma and a tragedy collide. When this happens, life-changing experiences occur, and a lot of people don't like to deal with these issues. They run away from the pain, and that's not good for your mind. That's not good for your body. So I am a life, health, and business coach, but I specialize in fitness. I work with women that are over 40, and as a result of my coaching, they tend to get rid of excess fat that they don't want. They tend to have more energy so they can feel sexy, so that they can push through the pain. And they also learn strategies. So when they get hit with tough things in life, they learn how to conquer it. Now, if you're that person and you're like, I have low energy, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to get through to my loved ones, I am able to help you with that. So there was a time in my life when I thought I would never love again. My heart had been crushed so bad from all the traumedies in my life. And we all go through some type of traumedy, right? It could be as simple as a divorce. It could be the loss of a loved one. I've been talking about it for a few weeks, broken heart syndrome. And I'm just curious if anyone has ever heard of this before, ever even felt it. Maybe you felt it and you didn't know. For some people, it can feel like they can't catch their breath. I've never had asthma, but I have lost my breath when I'm like running and I can't catch my breath. It's like, that could be one type of feeling. For me, this broken heart syndrome feeling, it's as if my heart is going to stop. It's as if I'm going to die. Has anyone ever felt this before? If so, unmic, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Or put some notes in the chat.
I did not experience it personally, StarzTina, but the funny thing is, one of my coaching clients was just hospitalized and was diagnosed with it.
Girl, Ramona, by the way, I love you, girl. I can't wait to meet you in real life. Ramona, I don't laugh, family. When I was probably in my 20s, it happened to me a few times. My kid's father had broken up with me again, and I was just sad. I was just something didn't feel right in my body. And I went to the hospital because you know your body, right? You know what you're feeling. And I went to the hospital and they took my blood, they took my heart rate, they did all this stuff. And they were like, girl, okay, she didn't say that. She said, you have broken heart syndrome. Your heart is broken. It is a real thing and it feels horrible. So the reason why I'm sharing this today, and today's topic is going to be a little bit heavy because I feel some people like to run away from stuff, right? If you guys didn't know, I'm currently in Lisa Nichols' program. It's an 8-week program for speaking, and I am loving every single moment of it. And last night, as I was thinking about different valleys, because the valleys, when you tell a story, you give your mountaintop, and then you give your low point, and then you give your high point, right? So I bought some little things here to help me through each valley. So of course, you may know some of my high points. I love children. If you did not know, I used to own a modeling company back in the day, and I loved finding out what children's passions were and then pulling it out of them. At 12 years old, my daughter was a Nets kids dancer, and she performed at Madison Square Garden in front of over 10,000 people. I had children that were on Toddlers and Tiara. We were so bigger company, we were able to do that. We did pageants, we did fashions, we did all these wonderful things. And I believe that my winning mindset, my go-getter, my hustle mentality, it just transferred to my children. And at the age of 18, my son opened his very own sneaker boutique. He did so well, he opened up a second location. So he had 2 stores, he was thriving, you know? And unfortunately, this is the first one of my traumedy. He was murdered. So, you know, this is something that I went through. I was at the high point and then boom, it dropped me down, right? That's one thing. And I realized as I was going through my studies for my program, we all have different valleys, but we have more than one valley, right? And I just sat and I started to think of all the valleys that I've gone through in my life. And sometimes we try to forget about them, right? Pastor Jeff, he's not here, but he actually let me realize one of the valleys I had when he was interviewing me and my mother when my book came out, and he said abandonment. I didn't even realize it. You know, when my sister was born, she was sick, so she got all the attention, and, you know, my parents loved me, but throughout my whole life, it was those abandonment issues. And my daughter feels that way sometimes as well. So these things are real. These traumas, these tragedies that are stuck in your body, you have to get them out. So the first one that I mentioned was the loss of my son. That's always going to be top of mind. Everyone knows that, right? And I'm holding up a cucumber just for visual aid because I want something. And the second one, as I just said, is abandonment issues. Is there anyone in the space that's ever had abandonment issues or want to talk about that? I'm just curious. If so, unmic, say your name and go for it. If not, I guess I'm the only one, and that's okay. That's okay. So as I push through, another huge traumedy that you may know about me is that my father passed away at the age of 49 from a massive heart attack. Something that could have been prevented. Diet, exercise, high blood cholesterol, diabetes. You know, heart disease is the leading cause of death in America, and it can be prevented. So that was another trauma, another valley that I went through. Another thing, if you didn't know, after my father passed away, I was so depressed. I was so sad. Maybe all the abandonment issues battled up together, and I ended up in a psychiatric hospital for 8 weeks. They told me I would be on medication for the rest of my life. And I was told that the brain isn't fully developed until about the you're 20, 22, 23. For men, a lot older. So when I was younger, all these traumas kept happening to me and my brain wasn't developed and able to deal with them. When my father passed away, I was 22. That was another trauma that I had. And let's go back even further in my teens. Now, I had a wonderful life. My family life was great, right? But for some reason, when something's missing, you tend to reach for something else. And I don't really share this story too often, but I actually attempted suicide twice. Ridiculous. And the crazy thing is, when someone attempts suicide, this is just my own thought. It's they're reaching out for something. Because the first time I did it, it was 4th of July. I remember it so clear because we had just finished seeing the fireworks. And he said to me, Tina, it's 4th of July. It's time for you to be independent. We're breaking up. And I was like, oh, it was like a bullet to my chest. And I was just done. And I went in the house and my grandmother was on a lot of medication, high blood pressure, whatever. You know, she had a whole bunch of pills. So I went in the cabinet and I just started taking her pills, pill after pill after pill. But there was some sane part of me because I actually left some of the pills there because I knew she would need them. How crazy is that? That I was thinking about her living when I was thinking about killing myself. That is crazy. And then I was just walking. The second time, even crazier, I tried to slit my wrist. Again, trigger warning. There's a number on the bottom that called 988, you know, if you have any crisis going on in your life. But all of these were just like, you know, part of that abandonment stuff. So attempted suicide is real. By the way, if anyone is in the New Jersey area, Dr. Emerald's funeral will be next weekend. And if you need information, just let me know. So suicide is real. And the last little thing that I want to talk about, and this is something I rarely talk about because I literally try to forget some of the stuff. If I really sat down, if I sat down and thought about all the beautiful traumas that God has gifted me, I'd probably never get out of bed. And they say that domestic violence tends to run in families. I don't know if it's like a gene thing. I don't know. I don't know if it's like from freaking slavery days. We're just used to getting beat on. It's like, okay, beat me. I don't know. But I was in 2 domestic violence relationships. And the last one, I almost died. I remember I was sleeping in bed and I was awakened by hands on my throat, choking me. I got out of that. But my point is that one incident, I literally try to forget about it and not think about it. And there's a Star, she did an event a couple years ago talking about domestic violence. But I share these stories with you because I want us to face, all right? I got a mirror here. I got this from Dora Maria. This one actually says, never underestimate the difference you made and the lives you touch. It's a mirror, all right? Look in the mirror, face your fears. Once you face your fears, guess what? Then you can conquer them. I am able to push through all of these traumas because every single day I do the work. I don't want to be on the medication. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with medication, but when I was on it, I couldn't, I was like so slow. Everything was here. And my medicine now is exercise. My medicine is meditation. My exercise is journaling, all of the self-care things that's there for me. And we tend to think about other people before ourselves. We tend to, say, oh, well, I don't need to take a break. I don't need to sleep. Now, I have to be honest. I'm still on that can't sleep again tip. I was good for like a week. All right. Yesterday, I got up at 2:00 in the morning and I was up all day. And this morning, it was the same thing. So, it's like up and down and up and down. But you have to realize that you can achieve anything if you just stay focused on your goals. Now, today's topic are 3 ways that you can have more energy. But before I get into that, if anyone wants to unmic, have a question, have a comment, this is your opportunity to join the conversation. I would love to hear from you. Or you can come up to the stage, or maybe you have nothing to say.
I just think it's a deep topic, Tina. So it's like, sometimes how to respond in the moment. So that is something that, maybe
Thank you.
can address with us. Like, how would you want somebody to respond when you say that? Because it's like, gosh, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, Marilyn. And that's why I love you so much, because some people don't know how to respond, just like you said. I remember when I was in Jersey a couple months ago, I was visiting my girlfriend, and I love her so much. And she has so many people that love her. And again, some people don't know what to say, and it's around me all the time, all these horrible things, and I just turn them into rainbows. My whole life I've been dealing with this. Like, okay, what's next? Let's push through. But Marilyn, what I found was a lot of people can't. I called out to my girlfriend because I had a dream about her, and I was like, I wonder if she has her funeral arrangements done. And I remember Ramon talked about this once. He was talking about how he has like a folder of things he's going to do with his business, or if he was to go away. So I called her and I left a message, and maybe I should have actually called her. And I had it, because I didn't want to forget. And I said, if you don't have anyone to be in charge of your funeral arrangements, I would like to be that person, because I wanted to make sure that she had a beautiful sending off. And she got so offended, Marilyn. I thought we weren't going to be friends anymore. She was like, how could you talk to me like that? I'm good. I got my life insurance. She's going off. And I'm like, okay. I was like taken away. I was coming from a place of love, wanting to make sure everything was great, but she was like uncomfortable with that. And if you want to say something to someone, first of all, don't ask them how they're doing. If it's like a horrible situation, that's the worst thing you can do, is to ask them how they're doing, because did I kick myself out? Oh gosh. Looks like I'm calling Ramon. Sorry about that. I'm hitting all buttons over there. Sorry guys, I'm hitting all sorts of buttons on the phone. Yeah. So when it comes to these tough conversations, maybe a one-on-one, but they do help. Marilyn, would you say you've ever talked about something and felt a little better after you talked about it?
Yeah, actually, I would say I was surprised probably how well it was received. Like, I talked about something and then I'm like, oh, that felt there. And then somebody messaged me, and, I'm thinking of my own situations, and they're like, oh, I resonated with that. And then you're like, wow, nobody came at me, or, so it ends up being okay.
I love it. I love it. And again, the only reason why I share those is to just show you there is a light at the end of the tunnel. No matter what you're going through, you can get through those traumas. You can get through those tragedies. And today I'm going to give you 3 ways of how to have more energy, because people always say to me, Tina, you have so much energy. How do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it? And I'm going to go out of order of what I was actually going to do. And I'm just going to say faith, my God. All right. Because if you think about it, let's be honest. All right. All the crap I just mentioned, some people can't even deal with one of them. And I legit just mentioned 6 things. And you know what? It's even scarier. And I thought about this morning. There's probably even more things inside of me that I'm avoiding, that I can't even, that I pushed away. So the faith of God, just knowing that I had to reframe the way I looked at these things, right? It wasn't, I lost my son. It was, I got to spend 21 years with this amazing little boy. It wasn't my father, left me. He didn't leave me. My beautiful father, passed away at 49. I got to spend 49 years with him. Of course, there's some other things, that are like horrible, but I say that God gave those to me because there's a woman watching this right now, and she doesn't want to get out of bed. She doesn't want to go to work. She doesn't want to smile. She doesn't want to move. Trust me, guys, you can push through. Get down on your knees, pray, close your eyes. And it's not even that serious where you have to get on your knees, but just pray. That's the first tip right there, is faith. When you want to have more energy, that's the one thing I do. The second thing that's super, 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 super important is healthy eating habits, your diet, all of that nutrition, all of that stuff right there, because what you put in your body not only affects how you look. By the way, how's my skin looking, guys? I did the 10-day JJ Smith smoothie challenge, and I feel amazing. That's probably another reason why I have so much energy. I've been living on juices for the past 10 days. Yesterday was my first meal, and it was so good. But healthy diet, all right? And when you do this, you look better. When you look better, you feel better. You're able to move. The blood's flowing through your body. And we all know what we have to do. We just don't want to do it, right? So grab the coattails of someone that's actually doing it and follow their lead. I saw Health Wells post something. I think she's doing some challenge or something. I saw her posting a great photo. You know, grab someone that's doing it and push through. So look at what you're eating. Make sure they're whole foods. All right. Get away from the processed foods. I had a client and I was like, how often do you eat out? And he said 7 days a week. I was like, what? If you're eating out 7 days a week, that is just so not good. Plus, you're wasting so much money. Cook your food. Maybe, you know, if you're not really into cooking, maybe find someone. You have like a buddy, your neighbor. Hey, you cook Mondays, Wednesdays, I cook Tuesdays, Thursdays. And then you guys split up the food, working smart, not hard, right? So that's the second thing you can do to have more energy. Because those heavy foods, they tend to sluggish you down. All right. Today, we are talking about 3 things to give you more energy so you can push through your day and thrive. And another thing, why do you want this energy? Do you want the energy to work out? Do you want the energy so you can play with your kids? Do you want the energy so you can go to work? And the reason why I say this, because depending on the type of energy of what you're going to do will dictate of what you're going to eat, right? So if I'm working out early in the morning, I'm not going to have a big meal. I'll probably have, you know, for me, just water. So depending on what you want to do. The third thing that you want to do to have more energy, oh, I love this one. Move your body. Move your body. What does that look like for you? For you, that may look like going for a walk after a meal. I remember I knew this person, and every time they ate, after they ate, they went for a walk. And I was like, that's weird. Isn't it crazy how we think things are weird or different if we don't do them or if they're not what we do? Had another friend, and he would just drink water. That was it. Like, he'd go out to the restaurant, water, water, water. And if you look at these people's body type, when you have habits, it's going to force you to do other things. I'm currently reading a book, Atomic Habits. And they said people that have habits are able to do a lot more things. If you have to think about the small things, like, okay, when am I going to work out? Maybe I'll do it after work. Maybe on my lunch. No, everybody's confident. I have other things to deal with, right? If you know that every single morning you're working out at 6 o'clock, guess what? You got your clothes out the night before, you got your work, whatever it is. Another thing, when it comes with the habits, if you know that you're going to do your social media marketing stuff every day at a certain time, you're going to do it. That's why habits are so very important. Another thing in this book, Atomic Habits, and let me tell you the author because it's a good book. I'm going to my Audible right now. Atomic Habits. Has anyone ever heard of this book? It's by James Clear, Atomic Habits. And who said that?
Yeah, I had it in my bookshelf. I've read probably a quarter of it.
Gotcha. What did you do? Is there anything that popped out of it that you liked?
I think that, from what I've read, doing small things, it'll lead up to the bigger things. Instead of focusing on, making big goals that you have to reach.
Okay. You unmiked. I got you, girl. So if you guys don't know, social media Rocky Girl is one of my favorites. And Rocky, would you please share with us your business and one tiny thing, because I suck at this. I'm not going to say I suck at it. I'm just not that good, that we can do towards our business for social marketing, since that's your jam. And you guys can tap into her if you need help with your social media.
No, it's too early. But I will respond to what you said earlier about the domestic violence stuff. One thing I'll say is, because you mentioned if it's by genes and etc. It is, if you believe in it, spiritual, generational curses, etc. So it is things that kind of trickle down. And one thing I want to say is, don't speak on things until you are healed enough to speak on them entirely. Because what I learned is I've been speaking on it for years. But as of lately, things are coming back up. I've buried it for so long that now that, like I said, working with TM, now that my mind is clear of everything else, this is coming back up again. So I'm realizing I have to take time to sit and deal with it versus talking about it in this moment. So
Gotcha.
That's something to consider as well.
Gotcha. So when you say talk about it, you're talking about just sit and think about what happened? I'm confused.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you should heal yourself before, like you said in speaking engagements. Speaking engagement on domestic violence awareness all the time. So now in this moment, while I'm going through this healing process, I would not do speaking engagements on it because it's something that can re-trigger you. Gotcha.
Thank you for that.
I
want to add,
Go for it.
I agree. On topic of even depression or domestic violence, things like that, you need to find, yourself. You need to get to where you are things are very real. And if you go out there, and haven't recovered, fully to where you still have a bit of bitterness, that can come out in your conversations with other people. And that's not something you want to do. It's you have to own the situation. To me, there's an opportunity. I've been through it several times, and it's an opportunity, to start anew. If you're able to look at yourself and your life situations and go, you know what? I'm really on the down low, I'm very, very low. I certainly take the wrong turn and be done. Or I can make this a blank slate, and my life starts anew today. And what am I going to do to help others so they don't do this? How can I bring about a positive social change? Okay.
I'm screaming right now. You didn't see me. With my glasses on. Dr. Eduardo, I love that. Love that. Yes. You have to speak when you're ready. Because I know a lot of people will come out, well, I've gone through this and I've gone through that. Okay, are you healed? I remember when I first got into this space and I spoke, and I forgot the woman's name that was on here, and I wasn't ready to speak, Anyone else want to chime in on today's conversation? We're talking about 3 ways to have more energy and why you want the energy. Ooh, I'm so proud of myself for being okay with that awkward silence. Alrighty, so I'm going to recap what I went over today. If you're just coming into this space, I'm talking about 3 things that you can do to have more energy. And first, I say define why you want the energy, and then you can know what to do. Tapping into your faith was the first thing that I mentioned. That always helps, especially if it's a hard thing that you're going through. The second one, healthy diet. If you're looking at me right now, I told you I've been doing this green smoothie. I think I put too much kale in this one because it just looks like, let's just say it's a dark green, okay? It's like a greenish, brownish thingy or whatever. But, having those habits of what you're going to do in the morning when it comes to your eating right now, my thing every morning, green smoothie, green smoothie, green smoothie. Keep it simple, sis. I always say that right there. So the second thing is having a healthy diet. And I loved what Rocky said, what's in the book is micro changes. And Lisa talks about that a lot in her programming. If you try to make these huge changes, most likely you're going to fail. If you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, you're not going to do it. I say, do one little task at a time, master that one thing, congratulate yourself. Yeah, I did it. And then move forward. And it could be as simple as, you know what? I'm going to drink a cup more water today. I'm going to go to bed a certain time every single night. Make them little tiny things. And then when it's automatic, then you can move on to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. And then it becomes automatic. So that's the second tip, is having a healthy diet. The third tip that I said, moving your body. And that's just essential. I've been doing this. And for me, movement is my medicine. After one of my major traumas, I went to work the following week because I just had to move. And yes, I was still going through it, but moving my body, exercising, that just kind of released the pain. Yesterday, I was looking at different certifications, because each year I like to learn different things. And there is actually a location for trauma. I was like, whoa. And it's 300 hours. It's the Yoga Alliance. I already do yoga, but this is actually, and it says it's focused towards the inside feelings of what's going on inside. We're like regular yoga, they'll say, okay, warrior 2, they want to make sure your arms are straight, your core, and it works from within. So it's really good when you're working to be better from the inside out. I think I heard someone else talking about that earlier today. You might think, I got to put my makeup on, I got to do this, but start from the inside, cleaning up what's going on inside with all those things. So those are the 3 things that you can do to have more energy in your life. And that goes across all the things that I do. Before I get out of here, I just want to make a couple quick announcements. If you guys did not know, this is April. April's a wonderful month. One, because it's my mother's birthday. Woo, woo. And her birthday is actually the same day as a wonderful event, April 18th. Next week, most of us will be in New York. I'll be in New Jersey. And Ramon has been talking about this event, it seems like he just mentioned it. And I was like, why is he talking about it? It's like a whole year away. It wasn't a year away, but it was a long time. And It just looks absolutely amazing. And if anyone's not going, you're gonna miss a great time. That event is April 18th. It's the Entrepreneurs Conference, and he has a lot of amazing speakers. I'm looking at all the marketing he's doing. I'm actually interviewing him on Tuesday. So Tuesday at 7 a.m. if you're around, come to the 7 a.m. Cup of Motivation, and he's going to be giving us tips for small business owners, how you can grow your business. We're doing that on Tuesday. Also, I told you I joined Lisa Nichols' program, and she has us have accountability groups. Accountability groups are very, very, very important. I do that with my fitness program as well. But in this accountability group, if you know anything about Tina, she does the most, right? I do the most. We're supposed to meet once a week. That's it. But I said, you know what, guys, let's do lives. Let's do a summit. So we are doing a virtual summit at the end of the month. It's called Ignite Her. And it's sharing our stories that ignited us that can ignite you as well. So those are some of the events that's happening in my world. And of course, we have our fitness classes. So if you're watching this and you kind of like what you heard, you're like, oh, I'm kind of interested in that, DM me for a conversation. Or if you're looking to be, go from good to great to amazing with your movement, join our Shooting Stars community tribe. We have classes 7 days a week, and I love, 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 love them. Today, I think I'm going to have like 2. Yes, go for it.
And we talk about the energy portion, especially to my ladies or the fellas as well. Y'all go get your blood work done. Check for the 2 things that we lost the most during the pandemic 3 years ago was vitamin D and iron.
Oh, yes.
Those are the major things.
Yes.
Exercise all day long. And what I realized was when I was lacking those things, I'm trying to build up now. Totally drained with no energy.
Girl, I actually had to get a heart rate monitor a year ago because my blood was like all off from not eating meat. So 100% get your blood work, and I had to take special iron pills. It starts from within. So get the iron, get your blood work, and just kind of, be smart with it. Thank you so much for that, Rocky. And you're looking good, by the way. I saw you. All right, guys. I am Tina, otherwise known as StarzTina. I'm here on Breakfast with Champions Fridays at 7 a.m. Or you can come to the morning show, 7 a.m. Cup of Motivation. With that being said, it is 6:30. I'm feeling amazing. We have Glenn Rudin coming to the door. I need to say, unmic, make some noise for Glenn Rudin.
Wow, man, oh man.